What's up, YouTube? My name is The Air, and today I'm coming back with a video on the Destiny beta, this time on the Hunter class. Now, let's get into it. The Hunter class is based on melee, and that's an issue right off the start, because melees in Destiny 2 have been severely nerfed. They aren't good anyway. Now, in addition to that, the melee combos given in this Hunter's class setup are very difficult to perform anyways. The combos such as dodging near an enemy, or meleeing enemy to recharge your dodge. You see, they seem to synergize, and they do synergize well in a PvE environment. But in a PvP environment, the synergy simply can't be found because players can easily outgun the nearly useless melee abilities of the Hunter. Now, a second thing going against the Hunter is its lack of team buffs. It has no passive team abilities. It has no team abilities whatsoever, actually. The Hunter is based on this lone playstyle. Now let's go over the Hunter grenades, because I think those are actually quite interesting. The Trip Mine grenade, it's nothing special really. It's not a one-hit anymore, so I really wouldn't recommend using it, as it really would only tell you where an enemy was coming from. The other grenades, sort of lackluster. The Skip grenade seems to be pretty powerful if you manage to hit the grenade correctly around the enemy's feet. Now, one grenade that really stands out among the Hunter class is if you go to the Gunslinger class and you pick the Swarm or Cluster grenade, I believe, you can use this grenade to effectively deny an enemy an area, and it seems to work very, very well on control points when going for B. You can block off one of the routes to B using your Cluster grenade, which I've actually been able to use to quite effectiveness and capture B without even really engaging anyone. Now let's talk about their ultimates. I think the Arc Strider's simply too slow. It needs speed. It's a melee-based ultimate, and I just really don't think it's quick enough to outpace and really be considered an ultimate. There are way too many scenarios where an enemy can simply turn and run away and manage to outpace you. So, really, I think we just need a speed buff on the Arc Strider. Now, the Golden Gun, I actually quite like it where it is. Even being a Hunter main, the Golden Gun could use a small time buff, but where it is now, it's in such a position to where it's difficult to pop at the right time. If you pop it too early, it'll run out before you really get any value out of it. But if you pop it at the correct time and peek out, you can manage to get between 2 and 4 kills very rapidly, actually, and I think that makes the Golden Gun quite what an ultimate should be, I believe, in Destiny. So, a small time buff, just really not more than a second, would just be a good quality of life thing, but actually I think it would push the Golden Gun into overpowered. Alright, so now let's look at the overview of the entire class, and what changes could be made on the class. The Hunter class is displaced in Bungie's model of competitive Crucible as of right now, simply because it is a class based on this you do you idea, but it lacks the actual ability or power for an individual to play in that style. The Hunter is a lone flank character. If you're fighting with your team, you would be doing better on a Titan or a Warlock. If you're fighting with your team, why use Hunter at all? Especially for the Hunter to be viable and competitive, it must be able to utilize its kit to win a 2v1. Yes, a 2v1 is a big outplay in Destiny 2, but that leaves a player with no remaining abilities. Since the Hunter is so heavily melee-based, a simple area effect melee could be implemented to disorient and weaken multiple enemy combatants. So, with this idea, the Hunter would go in on a flank. The Hunter engages his enemies and utilizes every ability in his kit to win a 2v1. Obviously, there would be some skill and gunfight involved in that as well, but coming out of it, the Hunter now has no abilities. All of his abilities are on cooldown. Now, that's simply the reason that I don't think this would be overpowered. But I'll let you guys decide, I guess. Another option to buff Hunter, which I believe will be the less controversial of the two, would be to lengthen the dash significantly. This would allow the Hunter to play a style of harassment or pounce, which fits the model that Bungie throws. They say that Hunter is an assassin character, so why not? This dash ability could be quite akin to the Halo Reach evade ability, for those of you that know that. That was also Bungie's work. It could give the Hunter an edge, but in a non-lethal manner. You can pounce in, and if you're good enough to kill your enemies quickly, you can do so. But if you pounce in, you're left without a way out. On the other hand, you could ambush your enemies and use the ability as an escape method. So that's it for the Hunter overview. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed, please tell a friend about me. And as always,
take it easy.